Shotgun with Charlie.
Riding shotgun refers to the practice of sitting next to the driver in a moving vehicle. The term riding shotgun came around after the time of the stagecoach, when somebody used to sit next to the driver holding a shotgun, in case they ran into bandits. My name is Charlie Cook, and I drive a lot. I like to talk to people while I'm driving, so I interview people in my car while I'm driving. Welcome to Riding Shotgun with Charlie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Riding Shotgun, we are back in Dallas, Texas, and we are with Erin Palette. Did I say that right?
Palette. I'm your little pal.
I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry. So we're here with Erin. Erin is a firearm instructor?
Yes. Well, we're all instructors in one way or another, aren't we?
This is true. And we are going to talk about Erin and what she does. So let's hit the road, girl. Come on, girl. All right, so we are driving around Dallas. We're going to hit the road. We're going to drive. We're going to come back. Sound like a game plan?
I like the coming back part.
Totally.
Oh no, Charlie's going to take me away and do nefarious things to me.
No. This is a family show. All right, so Erin, we Riding Shotgun with Charlie. We like talking gun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get into gun stuff? How long have you been into it?
Fairly recently. I really only got into guns around 2010.
Oh, okay. That's pretty new.
And that was an outgrowth of my interest in emergency preparedness, because I got into prepping, 2008, 2009. It was my way of dealing with a loss, and I thought it was just good common sense because I live in Florida, a state that is frequently beset by hurricanes and forest fires and tornadoes sometimes. And I just thought having a game plan for an emergency would be a prudent thing to do. And so the more I got into prepping, the more I started seeing references to firearms ownership. And it started out as, well, in case of the archetypical emergency of society collapses and you go live in a woods.
Right.
And so, you've got to have a bolt-action 22 to take down a small game for foraging.
Right.
And from there, it was, you need to be prepared for other things, too, like if someone attacks you. Mm-hmm. If you carry a first aid kit, why not carry a gun? You're going to be the first responder. And so that is how, just within about the space of a year or so, I became a gun owner and a shooter. I mean, it's not like I did a 180. I have always been very gun positive. Okay. My father was a career Army officer, so I grew up with guns in the house. Cool. And I was briefly in ROTC, and so I did have M16 familiarization, so I knew about guns. Wow. It was just one of those, they were nice to have, but they were expensive, and I wanted to use the money for other things. Sure. But after prepping, I thought, no, this is something I really should have.
It's, I've been shooting for about 15 or 16 years, I think it's been, and I actually became an instructor to support my shooting habit because it's expensive. It's you're buying ammo, you want to buy a new gun, you got to get some training, you got to join a club, you got to have a membership somewhere. So it just gets expensive. Mm-hmm. So how into prepping? Like, are you doing the whole the food, the non-perishable stuff? Is it all of that? Oh, absolutely. Really? Yeah. Very cool. I mean, I don't want to get into the details of it because that's giving up personal security. Sure. But yes, we have a month's worth of just regular canned food. The stuff that we normally eat. Mm-hmm. Because
Oh, you got me started. What a lot of people do is they invest in the survival food because it's survival situations. We're going to have the survival food,
Right.
and they never try it. And some of that survival food is awful.
Sure.
You know, if you buy MREs by the crate and you haven't eaten MREs, you are going to be in for a rude surprise. So honestly, the best thing you can do is just stock up on the stuff you normally have. Have your pantry be about a month deep. And just rotate it. You buy stuff.
Rotate your stock.
Yeah, when you go grocery shopping, you put the new stuff in the back, and the older stuff pushes forward.
How long does it take somebody? Because I know, I thought about doing this for a while, and getting extra peanut butter crackers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take to come up with a month's worth of supplies?
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
See, I actually edit a blog called Blue Collar Prepping, which is all about preparedness on the cheap, because I got so sick of the doomsday preppers whose idea of preparedness was, well, first you need to have a small business so you can sink thousands of dollars into your prep.
Right.
And, you have a bunker and all that other BS. No, it won't take you long. I don't remember the exact numbers. We've written blog posts on it. But the simplest thing to do is the next time you go grocery shopping, buy one of those big bags of rice. Get one of the mixed beans. Get those things. Get the dry goods that last for a long time. Get them as big as possible. Keep them in a cool, dry place. You can get them pretty cheap, especially if you go to the ethnic part of the supermarket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so if you just stock up on the basics, like beans and rice and lentils and peanut butter and honey. Honey does not go bad. They have actually found jars of honey in Egyptian tombs that are still good. I don't know the science behind it, but it does not go bad. And believe me, you're going to be dying for something sweet.
Sure.
So yeah, there are all sorts of things that you can get that will give you cheap calories. I mean, just the cans of tuna in oil. You want it in oil, not in water. You need those extra calories for survival thing. Yeah, you can get it done really cheaply, really quickly.
Wow, that's cool. That's good. Because like a lot of times, just like you said, when people talk about prepping, they're like, you need a bunker in the basement. You got to have extra this, and a lot of people don't think about. They either think of one thing. They either think they need a bunch of guns and ammo and knives, or they need a bunch of food. And if you don't have, if you don't have a way to protect all your food, you're buying a bunch of food for somebody who does have a gun, who can whatever.
Yeah, there's a guy in our podcast who makes the joke, and he says, well, if you've got 55 gallons of water, and your neighbor has an AK-47, your neighbor has an AK-47 and 55 gallons of water, so. But on the other hand, yeah, you don't want to go down the other route where all you have are guns and ammo, because then you're a looter, a thief, a marauder.
Right.
That's not cool.
What's the I know you're really active on all the social media. You said you got a blog. I know you're on a podcast with a group of other podcasters. And it's the
Gun Blog Variety Cast.
The Gun Blog Variety Cast.
And it drops every Sunday night.
Nice.
And we are on Facebook. You can find us on iTunes and Stitcher Radio, and I think just about every subscription service out there. Or you can go to gunblogvarietycast.com, which is our webpage. I'm pretty much contractually obligated to say this. My co-host Sean will give me a scolding if I don't.
Sean is not here, by the way.
No, he's not.
I noticed he did not make it to the GRPC this year. Last year he had to wear some sort of purple shirt around the whole time?
Well, he already wears purple, so that's not a stretch for him. But what I did was I made a t-shirt for him bearing the likeness of a My Little Pony that I designed to look mostly like Sean. Because what your fans, well, they probably don't know much about me at all, but I am a big, huge fan of the current My Little Pony cartoon. I am just completely nuts for it.
Uno momento, por favor.
Si, senor.
There's still a My Little Pony cartoon? I thought it died in like the 80s.
There have been several iterations of it, just like there have been several iterations of G.I. Joe and Transformers. The new one premiered in, 2012, I think, and it is remarkably good. I mean, they're having a big budget motion picture. Well, it's still a cartoon, but it's showing in theaters in about a month or two.
I would have had no idea.
It is really cool, and I won't bore your audience to death about it, but here's what's neat about it.
Yeah.
Because the woman who made the new version of the cartoon, well, she grew up with the old ones, the ones you're familiar with, as a girl, but she also knew that they were unbearable to watch when you're an adult. And when you're a parent, you know that your kids love to watch things multiple times. And so she was going to do the parents a favor and make a cartoon that wasn't torture for them to watch. And then she thought, you know, there are a lot of stay-at-home dads these days, so let's not make it so girly that the dads can't relate. And so the cartoon is accessible by adults because there are a lot of in-jokes, not exactly double entendres, but puns. And there was an episode where Weird Al was a guest star for the entire episode.
Really?
And there were multiple musical numbers with Weird Al singing.
Oh my god.
Yes, it's
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, for crying out loud, John Delancey, the guy who played Q on Star Trek.
Yeah.
He started out as a villain on the show. Now he's a recurring character. He comes back at least once a season. Yeah, I know. It's insane. It's just, it is better than any cartoon created to hawk children's toys has a right to be.
That's pretty funny. All right. How about that?
How about that?
So back to prepping.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, I had no idea that My Little Pony was still alive, and I guess it's alive and doing well, which is pretty cool. So the prepping stuff led to gun stuff.
Which led to self-defense.
Which led to self-defense, which only it's like a logical progression.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. What did you start shooting? What kind of class? You're in Florida. There's a morning show where I live in Massachusetts that has a segment called Florida, Not Like the Rest of Us.
Oh, is this the Adventures of Florida Man?
I have not heard of this. I like Adam Carolla, and Adam Carolla has Florida or Germany. He's got a segment. It's the same sort of thing. But the permit, people ask me, I teach the NRA basic home firearm safety class. I used to do the basic pistol class, but I don't do that anymore because Massachusetts went through a weird thing and they used to accept it and they don't. It's ridiculous. But I do the Utah class, and I know that some people use the certificate I give them to get from the Utah permit to get their Florida permit. And Florida requires what? Live fire, and live fire is one round of 22, I believe.
That's not how I did it.
Okay.
Now, the class I took may not be standardized, I don't know. But when I went to take my course, it was at a business that was also a firing range. And so the instructor got out I think it was a Ruger Mark III.
Okay.
And, you know, he gave us the safety briefing, and this is how it works, and so on and so forth. And so we had to shoot a magazine at it wasn't point blank, but it was pretty darn close. Sure. I mean, it wasn't more than 7 yards, and felt like it was closer. And he didn't give us specifics, but the overall idea was you want to hit the paper.
That certainly makes sense.
Yeah, and as much as I wish I could claim all bullseyes, I didn't, but I didn't get anything outside the 8 ring. So,
wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then you were able to get your Florida permit. The Florida permit, it's a carry permit?
It is a concealed weapons permit, not concealed pistol. So that gives us a lot more latitude. And so we can conceal carry knives and billy clubs and tasers and all sorts of other things.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. I know in Massachusetts they had some, I think there's somebody fighting the state about owning tasers, because we can't own tasers. So cool. So the gun stuff led to more stuff. You've been shooting since you've been a gun girl since 2010. And when did you get more and more into it? Because you're more and more into it now.
Yes.
And now you're with the pink pistols, and You got all kinds of stuff going on, girl.
Yeah.
Dish about that.
Can you give me a more specific question here?
So 2010, you got your permit. You got it through prepping.
Okay, no, I bought guns in 2010. I didn't get my permit until 2013.
Oh, okay.
And really, it was the George Zimmerman Trayvon Martin thing that I just decided, I'm especially vulnerable. I think I should start carrying. So that was the next step. Just from owning guns and going to the range and having fun to I need to be a responsible concealed carrier and learn how to defend myself and my family members.
Gotcha.
And so that was 2013. 2014 is when I started my prepping blog.
Yeah.
And so I got even more into preparedness. And
now, the preparedness, I don't want to sidetrack, but preparedness. So, when did we see each other at the JRPC? Was it Thursday night or Friday night? No. This time. Was it Thursday or Friday night?
I don't remember.
I can't remember either, but you're like, hey, you don't look so hot there, Charlie. Do you need some Advil? I'm like, I just took...
Oh, that was Friday night, because that was the night of the fashion show. Yeah.
Right, okay. So literally, like, you pull out a...
little first aid kit.
Right in an Altoid case. Right, like a little tin can. And then then we needed something else yesterday, and you pulled that out too. There we go.
Yeah, and so the day after that, you were drinking an adult beverage, and you didn't have a bottle opener. And I go, hey, wait a minute, I got a multi-tool here with a bottle opener on it somewhere. There it is.
This girl is prepared. Man,
Look, I got a tourniquet too.
I know more people are starting to carry a little first aid kit, which is pretty wild, which makes me think I need to step up and maybe get a little first aid kit to carry, but also learn how to use it. Because so it's not just tying right back into the prepping. It's not just having the stuff; it's knowing how to prepare the foods. Maybe having a good recipe, or I'm sure someone's got a prepper's cookbook or something.
Oh yeah.
But knowing how to make that stuff, knowing how to prep it. I've talked to people that are like, well, yeah, if the end of the world comes, I'm going to shoot squirrels. Cool. Do you know how to to field strip them? No. Okay. Then what are you going to do? Do you know what you can eat, what you can't eat, how to take the squirrel out of his jammies and cook them? People don't need to know that. They always think, well, I just need to have this and not know how to use it.
Again, it's the mystical talisman. The gun will keep me safe.
Right.
The preps will keep me fed and warm. No, they won't.
Having a first aid kit's going to help me save someone's life, but I don't know how to use it.
Yeah. The gun is like the fire extinguisher, is like the first aid kit. It is a tool in your toolbox. But tools are useless without a hand to wield them.
Absolutely. Very cool. Very cool. So when did 2014 you started doing the blog? When did you get on the podcast?
The podcast was about a year later, and Sean was putting it together, and I was a bit too stressed to be the co-host, so he got someone else, and I just started doing a blue-collar prepping segment because I was already doing something on it for the blog.
Gotcha.
And so I did that. I was a regular contributor, and then about a year, maybe a year and a half later, the original co-host left the show because, and I think these are his words, not mine, it was cheaper than getting a divorce. It was cheaper than getting a divorce. In other words, he needed to spend more time with his family. His wife had just had another baby, and he couldn't carve out time for the podcast. So Sean asked me, and I went, all right. I think I can manage this.
Cool. You guys have quite a little cast on there.
Yes, we do. We've got some great people.
Very cool. Who's on there?
Well, you probably met Tiffany Johnson, didn't you?
I saw her. I didn't meet her. I think I just took the wrong exit.
Oh, that's all right. So, yeah, Tiffany Johnson is on there. She does a segment called The Bridge, where she Tiffany's not like most of our readers because she is black and fairly liberal. And so she brings an interesting perspective to things.
Sure.
And so when we had the problems in Ferguson and the bit about the kneeling because of the anthem, she brings a perspective that we haven't considered. But, she's a gun owner. So she's one of us. So it makes it difficult for people to just dismiss her out of hand. And so you've met her.
No, I haven't met her. I saw her.
Oh,
I saw her. I saw everyone talking to her. But I wasn't her too.
We have Beth Alcazar, who works with the USCCA.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And her segment is Pacifiers and Peacemakers. And it's all about how to be a gun-owning mom, how to balance motherhood, what it's like to be a woman who carries a gun. Mm-hmm. Sean does his segment, Felons Behaving Badly.
Felons Behaving. No kidding.
Yes.
That's
and
awesome.
So that is... Well, the entire point of it is to highlight that the fears of the anti-gunners that concealed carriers will get into gunfights over parking spaces is just garbage. That the people committing these crimes are, gosh golly, criminals.
Hard to believe.
Yeah.
Really hard to believe. When did you start, you started the Blazing Sword?
I started Blazing Sword last year. Okay, so the Pulse Terrorist Massacre happened on a Saturday night, Sunday morning. And so we all heard about it Sunday morning. In fact, the first I heard about it was when friends were asking me on Facebook, "Are you okay? Please mark yourself safe." And I just gotten up.
What?
And I'm going, what? Who is this? Because, well, all they knew was that I lived in Florida and that I'm trans. And so they thought...
Florida's a small state, so there's a real good chance you were at the Pulse nightclub when this happened.
Yeah, well, so that happened in Orlando. I live in Daytona Beach, which is about 60 miles east. Gotcha. But, they cared enough to ask, so...
That's cool.
That's great. And so Sunday, we were all just aghast at the horrible news. And Monday, I saw something remarkable happening. And it was all across social media, Facebook posts, blogs, Twitter, and I saw gun owners who were pretty conservative. Yeah. Who were saying, I don't care what your sexuality is. Right. If you want to learn how to defend yourself, not only will I take you to the range, I will pay for your ammo. I will pay for your range fees. I want you to be able to defend yourself. And I thought this was a remarkable sentiment because it flies in the face of what we've been told by the media for decades. Yeah. That gun owners, they're all white, heterosexual, conservative males who just hate gay people, and how gay people are all ultra-liberal, and they hate guns, they want gun owners dead. And so there was reaching across the aisle, and I thought that was beautiful. And I also realized that the targets of the message weren't going to hear it because we all travel in our own little circles. Right. And I was in a unique position because I had my feet in both camps because I'm a gun owner and I'm queer. So I figure if I make this list of all the gun owners and their generous offers and post it on my wall, then the queer people in my feed will see it and they'll spread it and the word will get out. And I honestly thought I would be done in a few hours. I would have a couple dozen entries, that'd be it. That would be my afternoon activity. So 12 hours later
12 hours
12 hours later, I have over 100 names. It's gone from being a Facebook post to an interactive Google map with a little pin set in it. I have at least one volunteer to add the names because I can't keep up. It's 2:30 in the morning. I got to go to bed. And the people from the West Coast are still piling in. It's just, you'll continue to add the names. Thank you.
Right, I'm out.
And it was just crazy for like the next month. I would be waking up with 100 emails in my inbox. Wow. Please add me to your list.
That's awesome. When I heard you speak today, you said there's almost 1,500 people?
Yes. As of The most recent count before I left, and we've probably added a few more.
I'm sure.
There were 1,475 volunteer instructors across every state of the country.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I've noticed this. I've noticed this, especially here at the JRPC, is we meet these people of other walks of life, of other parts of the country. That some people write, some people make videos, some people do audio, some people just like taking classes. I mean, some people we all do different stuff. But when we get together, we all have something in common.
Mm-hmm.
And for some people, it's hard to let the other stuff go. But you know what? If this isn't for me, okay, that's okay. You still like to shoot? Awesome. What kind of gun do you shoot? You know, what do you like to shoot? Do you do IDPA? Do you do this? Do you do that? You know, do you hunt? Do you not hunt? What do you have a gun for prepping or for self-defense or whatever? We've all got that in common. And what I really like about being in this community is, even though we're all over the country and we don't see each other, you know, maybe see each other at the SHOT Show or the NRA show or here at the JRPC, we get to see each other, we get to catch up, we follow each other on all the social media, and then we reconnect and we have this great weekend. It really does feel like a homecoming with everybody. And again, you see these people online, and then you get a chance to hang out and BS with them and whatever, have an adult beverage and hang out and have a good time and reconnect. And for me, it also recharges my battery to talk to other guys that are podcasters making videos and all sorts of stuff. So
yeah,
very cool.
Yeah,
cool.
It's gunny homecoming.
That's awesome. I like that. All right, well, listen, we are just about where we need to be, so we are going to end this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. How can everyone find you and all of your stuff?
Well, you can find us on Facebook on our page, Operation Blazing Sword, or you can go to our own webpage. That's blazingsword.org. We are a 501c3 tax-deductible charity, so if you'd like to donate to Blazing Sword and help gun-curious LGBTQ people learn the basics of firearm safety and self-defense, you can make a donation at paypal.me/upblazingsword. Bye.
Awesome. Erin, thank you very much. If you're not watching, if you're not subscribed to all the Riding Shotgun with Charlie stuff, you guys definitely need to do that. Erin, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. And we'll see you online. We'll do this next year.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Sounds awesome. Thanks, guys.